Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2003 here in TEW 2020, as it's the night after Sacrifice and we're beginning the road to Slamboree with Nitro live from Washington DC. But let's get started with the show. So we start out with our pre-show match where we have, for the women, an abysmal pre-show match. Beth Phoenix and Angel Fox defeat Natty Neidhart and Lacey in 12:05 when Beth Phoenix pins Lacey with the Down in Flames. This gets a 46. Basically, the women aren't quite ready because these are my developmental women. But Angel Fox gets a 52, Beth Phoenix gets a 46. And yeah, that's all we really need. Just a match to get some, in-ring time and a little bit of more momentum since Beth Phoenix has been losing a little bit more and Angel Fox just dropped the title. And in our other pre-show match, get some people some in-ring time, and a pre-show match that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Scott Steiner, Reno, and Sean Stasiak defeated Air Paris, Conan, and Jason Jett in 14:55 when Reno pinned Jason Jett with the roll of the dice. This gets a 74. Basically, everybody's in the 50s or 60s except for except for Scott Steiner, who got an 82, but like I said, overall got a 74, which is going to be better than some stuff on the show. But, what can you do? But anyway, we're live from the DC Armory. So, after our opening video where we show, stills, because, we're still selling that replay on pay-per-view, we get Eric Bischoff coming out, and he's like, alright, I realize this is completely ironic coming from me, the guy who formed the NWO, who was an asshole for so long, but that was different. I have different responsibilities now. I promised FX and pay-per-view providers a big match. And what did they see at the end of Sacrifice last night? The Deadpool showing up and thinking that after Goldberg and Booker just had a big-time match, they could beat them down and assert their dominance. Well, this isn't 1997 anymore, and I'm not your lackeys. So, right now, officially, I have the paperwork right here. After tonight, the Deadpool are, and then the crowd pops, because out comes Booker and Goldberg. They're both dressed in street clothes-ish, and they come down to the ring, and basically, Booker starts and says, Bischoff, we know what you're going to do, sucker, but we're telling you, don't you dare do that. Yes, by the rules, you should suspend the Deadpool forever, they should be fired, they should be out on the goddamn street. Crowd pop. But, me and Goldberg, we got our asses kicked last night, 2-on-4, but notice those numbers, 2-on-4. So, sucker, what we want from you, Bischoff, is to sign a tag team match. Me and the World Heavyweight Champion against that damn monster Macias and Vampiro. If the Deadpool lose, you can suspend him. You can fire him. Hell, you can arrest him. But sucker, if they somehow get the victory over us, they get whoever they choose, probably Vampiro, because he's the damn mastermind, gets a world title shot, and I'll fight that monster Macias, it would be, or vice versa. Maybe they think that monster can take the belt off the man, and Vampiro thinks he can actually defeat me this time around. Either way, it doesn't matter, we want what we want. And Bischoff's like, okay, Booker, I get that's what you want, but Goldberg, you're out here, you haven't said anything. And, Goldberg gets Mike and says, it's pretty simple, Bischoff. Deadpool, they're next. Big crowd pop, and then we move on. And Bischoff's like, okay, I'll see what I can do. So this gets a 91 because everybody's really good, and there we go. Then we have our opening match of the night, where we have, then we go backstage, after the commercial, where AMW promo, they officially challenge Air Raid for the tag titles. They talk about how, they're the future of tag team wrestling here in WCW, and the Air Raid, have been sitting there pretty at the top, but now, they're facing a tag team that can actually take the belts off of them. 60, perfectly solid promo, there you go. And then we have our opening match. In a terrible match, really? Okay. Cash defeated Scott Taylor in 6:22 by pinfall to the dead level. Just a perfectly clean win. Cash gets 63, Taylor gets a 51. This gets a 66 overall. Good stuff. And then afterwards, we have a very quick promo. So it's just 2-minute promo where Cash is like, London, last night you got lucky. That won't happen again. I guarantee it, because I am money in WCW, and I'm going to be the next Cruiserweight champion. 55, perfectly solid promo. Then we're backstage, and we have Lexie James with the women's world title, on her shoulder. And this is basically a promo to put herself over as, her hot catchphrase. She's the queen bitch of World Championship Wrestling. It doesn't matter who wants to face her. She'll take him down, because he rules women's division, and everybody will just have to kneel to her. 65, improvised well in that hot catchphrase. It's almost like that'll help getting somebody over or something. But really good stuff. Then we have Bischoff in his office, and Bischoff looks harried. He's like, and also it's been mentioned by the announcers at the point that the main event has been signed. And RVD showed up in Bischoff's office, and he's like, dude, I know you're busy and all, but I was thinking, I've been on a little streak here. I beat Kidman, I beat Steiner. I want something, a little higher, Well, Bischoff's like, look, I know what you're aiming at, but the world title shot is sort of in flux right now. So if you can get back to me. And Robert like, cool, bro. Just, I'll be here. I'll be ready. I'm not doing much of anything else. Bischoff is like, fine, and just sort of ushers RVD out. 74, good stuff. And then in a decent match, Lance Storm defeated Dusty Rhodes in 17-16 by pinfall. This gets a 63. This is just a mid-card match. It gets Storm back over a little bit after, his tag team, did the job to Air Raid last night. And honestly, I hate to put it this way, but this is kind of the end of Dustin's run. I don't really have a bunch to do for him right now. I don't want a bunch for him to do right now. And, him as his tag team with Conan, did their final job to AMW to get them over. So this is probably going to be Dustin's spot for the moment, unfortunately. Anyway, perfectly solid, mid-card match. Nothing terrible, nothing bad. And then we're backstage, and Bischoff's still in his office, making phone calls. And, he's and his, word, we see at the beginning is, I understand this, it won't happen again, okay? We're fixing this tonight. And then he comes in, then we have Sean Hare come in, and he's like, and Bischoff's like, what? What do you want? And O'Hare's like, I beat a former world champion last night. What do you think I want? And Bischoff is like, okay. Again, RVD just talked to me. He wanted the same thing. But look, we got that tag match main event tonight. If Booker and Goldberg win, we'll figure something out. If they don't win, well, then the Deadpool get their shot, and we'll figure something else out. And O'Hare's like, okay, but I'll be waiting, because I deserve this. And Bischoff's like, yes, we know. You all think you deserve it. And, Schroeder brushes him off. And then we're backstage, and this is, I don't want to say, a big thing, but Canyon, basically the Horsemen are backstage, and they're doing their Horseman thing. But Canyon's Ric Flair's like, Lemon Loradin, Jett's feeling son of a gun is back. I beat that Punk GP last night, and I'm back to the top. Jared Douglas are talking about how it's great. They beat, they won their tag matchup against Palumbo and Jett last night. And Canyon's like, wait. What about Canyon here? What about me? I got screwed. Where were you guys' backup? And Jared Douglas was like, well, we were so happy we left early. And Flair's like, come on, man. You don't expect the Nature Boy to party after beating DDP? Canyon's like, but I'm the leader of Horsemen. Nobody's better than me. Joni tried to help, but why weren't... And then we get, involved in arguments, and Flair's like, well, I didn't need any help from anybody else. Yeah, you got to roll the quarters. Yeah. And Flair's like, yeah, dirtiest player in the game. Jared Douglas like, we backed you up the whole time you were world champion, Canyon. Isn't the fact you lost just proof maybe you weren't cut for it? And then involved in an argument, and Canyon and Jody are like, look, we'll figure this out later, but for now, we're gone. And they leave. Flair, Jared Douglas sort of shrug, and, get back to doing Horseman things. This also gets a 91 because, they're all great. And again, in just a solid mid-card match, Billy Kidman defeated Alex Wright in 8:54 with pinfall with the Kid Crusher. Again, this is sort of the finish, the official finish to the quasi-feud that was going on when Wright was helping out. When Wright was helping out RVD the last couple weeks. But Kidman goes over, 8:54, Kid Crusher, 68, there you go. And Kidman celebrating gets a 68 also. So, again, nothing fancy, just a straightforward, momentum builder for Kidman since he didn't have a match on the show last night. And there you go. And this is sort of the big thing. And this didn't do as well as we thought, but okay. So basically, the Deadpool are basically like, this is like a pre-tape, and it's sort of like taped like, not quite like a Wyatt Family promo, but like sort of like it's spooky, there's darkness, not quite black and white, but sort of like dark. And Pure is like, I warned you so many times there would be a reckoning, and you laughed at me. You thought a simple loss would stop me. You thought that being suspended by some men in suits would stop us. I have a vampire warrior. I have God's lost son. I have a monster from beyond. Did you think simple rules would stop us? What will happen tonight is just another mark in the Deadpool against you all. There you go. Everybody laughs, does evil stuff. There you go. 78, good stuff. Not as good because Macias and Vampiro rolled bad, but what can you do? Stuff happens. Then we have the continuation, which gets a 35. Again, not the greatest stuff, but I'm going to get this over if it kills me. But basically, we have Johnny and Elizabeth at an old gladiatorial arena, and Elizabeth talks about, how men used to fight for their death out here, and Johnny, you were stuck playing a role of a comedy character, dressing like somebody out of a bad mafia parody film. And Johnny's like, yeah, I get it, but I'm going to change, and you're helping me change, Elizabeth. Elizabeth's like, okay, if you truly want to change, there's just a couple more things I need to show you. And there you go, 35, because again, they're not over yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Yes, I want to continue that. And they're backstage. The Horsemen show up in Bischoff's office, and Bischoff is like, before Flair begins, Bischoff's like, I know what you want. Okay, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to have 6-man tonight. You three versus, who's free? Yeah, O'Hare, RVD, and Ray Jr. And then at the pay-per-view, it's going to be you, Flair, it's going to be O'Hare, and it's going to be RVD. 3-way. Winner gets the next world title shot. You cool? And Ric Flair's like, yes, I am. Woo! Because he's Ric Flair. Then we have our big Shane Helms promo, because, he's Shane Helms. Oh, and that got a... Okay, I'll go over this, and then I'll go back and get the number for that last thing, because I didn't see it out that out loud. Sorry, guys. But, this is the big Shane Helms. Shane Helms, he has the U.S. title. He has all his buddies in the back. And he's like, World Championship Wrestling, your superstar has finally arrived to the top of the mountaintop. For so many months, they tried to stop me. They colluded against me. They conspired against me. They put Ray Jr. in matches against the Horsemen. They didn't allow me to wrestle on pay-per-view. But last night, in front of 18,000 people, me and Ray Jr. wrestled like hell. But at the end of the day, it was shown that Rey Mysterio Jr. is overrated, and I am the future of professional wrestling. This is just the beginning. The superstar of professional wrestling is here, and nothing will ever be the same. 82, really good promo, because he's Shane Helms. And let me see here. And yeah, the Horseman in Bischoff's office got an 80, because yeah, there we go. And we're off to the 6-man match, and in that, which gets a 92, because there we go, everybody's good. In a superb match, Jeff Jarrett, Shane Douglas, and Ric Flair defeated Sean O'Hare, RVD, and Rey Mysterio Jr. in 15:59, when Ric Flair pinned Rob Van Dam, using the ropes for leverage. So what happens here is, at the end, we have our 6-way brawl to end things, and Sean O'Hare basically accidentally, runs, like, nails RVD. Like, you know, RVD gets in the way. RVD gets hit. Other heels toss O'Hare out. Ric Flair rolls RVD up. He uses rope for leverage and gets the pin. 92, because all these guys are really good. And yeah, so Ric Flair gets 79. Douglas gets 79. Jarrett gets an 84. Rage Jr. gets an 85. RVD gets an 88. And O'Hare gets an 86. And then we have the women have a quick argument backstage. Basically, they're all arguing why they should get the next women's title shot. Gail Kim is like, I've been, you know, screwed since the beginning. Amber O'Neill's like, you know, I should have I should have been next in line anyway. Beth Phoenix is like, you know, I'm getting back in position. Jordan Cole's just like, I deserve a title shot, and basically we get some arguing, and basically we get back from commercial, and there's announcement of the 4-way for next week. There you go. 52, perfectly solid stuff. Then in our main event, an exceptional match, Vampiro and Mesias defeated Bill Goldberg and Booker T in 15:01 when Vampiro pinned Booker T. It says use the rope for leverage, but like low blow, nail in the coffin, there you go. And basically, the finish of the match is basically Lestat and Morningstar come out. They bring Goldberg, basically to the outside of the ring, 2-on-1. Goldberg is fighting them off, but it's still, like, it's just enough where Goldberg is, basically held up enough that Vampiro can hit the nail in the coffin on Booker T. He gets the pinfall victory and, gets a 92 because everybody's really good here, including Goldberg getting a freaking 94. And then, we get our Deadpool beatdown, but after a couple of minutes, where again, it's 4-on-2, babyfaces are ably fighting back because it's Bill Goldberg and Booker T, so they're still badasses. But then, after when it just looks like, when it looks like Vampiro and Macias are going to hit some sort of like wacky double stuff pile driver on Booker T, Seek and Destroy hits, the crowd goes insane. Sting drops from the bottom, drops from the roof, and he goes crazy with a baseball bat. The Deadpool scatter, crowd pops because it's the return of Sting, and there you go. And yeah, this gets a 95. So yeah, there you go. There's your ending to the show, which gets us a 91. So there we go. Horsemen. Okay. So yeah, solid stuff. We have our third wave at the pay-per-view for the world title. We have basically, Vampiro set for a world title match and Booker versus Macias. And, we have Shane Helms as the U.S. champion. We have a 4-way next week for the number one contender to the women's world title. And Cash challenging Paul London for the cruiserweight title. So there you go. As we finish the show, let's see what Raw decides to do. Probably just another random 100 out of nowhere, because that's what the AI can do. What, me? Be a little? I mean, I'm not, I'm just a little bitter that the, can just randomly do that. But let's just see how it does here. I'm going to guess, it actually doesn't do that great, but we'll see. So, Raw did a 91. Shawn Michaels defeats Christian in a cage match. It gets a 99, because of course it does. Undertaker defeats K-Quick, and K-Quick's return because he was injured. Eddie Guerrero defeats Matt Hardy. Kane defeats Al Snow. Billy Gunn defeats Rikishi and William Regal. Chris Jericho defeats Skull. Okay, interesting. Oh, right, I need to... Okay. And... Bobby Eaton joined Noah. Okay, that's kind of random. And let's see. Billy Kidman thinks Amber O'Neil is pretty good in the ring. Wonder why you think that. Okay, that's not mean. He's... So... Yeah, that's it for now. Next week will be Nitro again. As we continue with the road on to Slamboree, which is not being changed. But I think that's it. I'm just thinking if there's anything else obvious to show you guys. No, there's no other big news. But yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a like. Comment below when you're liking it or not enjoying. Subscribe to the channel for more fun TEW 2020 content. And, that's all for now. So talk to you later, and adios.